Hello everyone and welcome to the Language of Love. This product was provided to me by emi-hime, who's developed a ton of other games on Steam. Link in the description below to the game. You can buy it right now on Steam for $10.79 on sale, I believe. Normally like $11.99, so it's not very expensive. Yeah, it's looked really cool. There is an adult content patch you can download for this game, but it is censored by default. But on the Steam page, you can just download it, get all the naughty bits back. So let's just start the game. I sometimes wonder if other 23-year-olds feel quite as old as I do. I'm only 23. I try to reassure myself. I still have my whole life ahead of me. I moved out of my tiny village and I've gone to study in a city near Tokyo so I can get into a good university. I'm going to pass my university entrance exams. I'm going to work hard, and then, when I finally put my education behind me, I'm going to get a good career. I'll achieve things with my life, even if it kills me. I just want to succeed. Is that so much to ask? I have a lot to look forward to, and I've barely taken my first steps into adulthood. There's no time to get depressed now, but no matter what I tell myself, it just never sticks. Sometimes these words help me get to sleep at night, but they seem particularly hollow and empty when I'm at cram school, surrounded by other students almost 5 years younger than me. I really am getting old. You're old. Man, I'm 31. I'm old compared to my peers, at least. I think I might be the oldest in my class. The others are all 18, with a handful of 19-year-olds sprinkled here and there. Even my teacher, Miss Sonozaki, looks to be around 25 or 26. Now that's a grim thought. And I'm closer to my age and my teacher than I am my classmates. Not that they really feel like my classmates. Cram school doesn't feel like real school either. It's a place where failures and dropouts go so they can relearn all the things they should have learned back in high school. For entrance exams and stuff. Cram schools are really big in Japan. We don't cover any new material, we just rehash everything we were taught in the past, over and over again on a loop. Feels like I'm just going around in circles, swallowing my own tail with each step like an Ouroboros. I've only been in the city for around a week, and I'm already exhausted. Paradoxically, my days here are less packed than when they were when I lived out in the countryside. Other than cram school, my days are almost depressingly empty. I get up in the mornings, brush my teeth, put on clothes, catch the train to cram school, sit at my desk for hours, reading textbooks and answering the teacher's questions. We have a lot of practice exam papers to work through, so there's always something to study for, though the exams themselves are 8 months away. When I'm done with school, I take the train back home, and then I while my time away until the night finally falls. There are too many hours in the evenings, and I just don't know how to fill them. My classmates look like they lead fun, exciting lives. I bet that's why they failed the university entrance exams the first time around. They're too busy going to bars, karaoke parlors, or the arcades. But nobody's invited me to a bar, or a karaoke parlor, or an arcade. I'm too old. Perhaps I could have had a painless time if I'd told a few white lies while Miss Sonozaki asked us to introduce ourselves during our first day of school, but I didn't. For some ungodly reason, I was seized by a sudden need to tell the truth, and I confessed my real age to my classmates. I wanted them to know right off the bat that my name is Tanimura Mitsuki. Yeah, like the actress, but not written the same way. And I'm 23 years old. I might be a bit older than the rest of you, try a lot. But I hope we can all get along in the future. As if. I think I could have made a few friends if I kept my shameful secret under wraps. I mean, it's not like I look much older than everyone else, but it's too late now. The cat's already out of the bag. Yeah, see, I'm 31 in real life, but I look like I'm 23 or something. I look really young for my age. No one ever gets my age right, and it's always funny to have them guess. My classmates don't want to associate with me. They don't even want to look at me. I can't say I blame them after all. I'm only 23 and I feel positively ancient, though I'm closer to the 20 than 30, and the world should be my oyster. How can the world be my oyster, I ask, when I've never had the opportunity to cast out my net? Now, I'm afraid I'll never get the chance. We've all been there, midlife crisis. I'm only 23. Just 23. Already 23. Isn't that old enough already? But my protests are all in vain, and time continues to endlessly tick away. I sigh as I walk down the street, my hands firmly planted inside my pockets. Today was yet another day at cram school, and it was just as dull and uneventful as the last. I might be living in the heart of Japan now, but I feel even lonelier than I did back in Omori. At least back in the sticks, I still had my parents and my grandmother, and a few assorted aunts and uncles I could talk to. I had friends, too, until they flew the coop. Still, even after they cleared off, I wasn't entirely on my own. I knew everyone who stopped by my family's old-fashioned candy store, and people used to talk to me as I counted out their change. People weren't above smiling and laughing and telling jokes anymore, even with a loser like me. It's different now. I knew the city would be different, of course, but... I'd always imagined, in my naivete, or maybe you could call it optimism, that it would be different in a positive way, in a good way. I never believed, not in my wildest dreams, that I'd feel so isolated while living on the fringe of the biggest city in the world. Life's full of surprises. Sadly, they're not always pleasant ones. My footsteps fall against the dull gray pavement with a series of dull gray thuds. Everything's dull and gray in the rundown part of Kawasaki I call home. The high-rise buildings, which don't rise quite as high as those 20 minutes down the Tokaido line. The sidewalk, which is fringed by the curb and lined with street lamps. Even the sky, which looks grim and dark and downcast, is utterly miserable. I wonder if it's going to rain, I ask myself. I sure hope not. I should hurry, in case it does. I pass the gates of a small playground, driven by the single-minded desire to get inside before the heavens unleash their load on my unsuspecting head, when... Not here. It's not here either. Now what could that be? Where is it? Where did it go? I can't see the speaker, but their voice sounds breathy and high-pitched. Their frantic words are choked with tears, and it's obvious they're upset. If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say that voice belongs to a little kid. I mean, why else would they be in the playground? I wonder what happened. I open the low metal gate, which parts with a creak, and glance around. The playground is fairly nondescript, much like everything else around these parts. I can see a few swings and slides, but they're rusty with age, just like the gate. It's all very typical, standard, uninteresting. Well, what else would be here? A portal to another dimension, perhaps? This isn't a manga. Aw, it's a little girl. There is, however, a girl. The girl's crouched on the ground by the swings. Her hair is short and dark, and her eyes are filled with tears. I don't make a habit of talking to young kids, but something about her looks vaguely familiar. I wonder why. Mama told me not to go outside. I should have listened, but... She hiccups. Her shoulders tremble. It looks like she's crying. Is there anything I can do to help? Excuse me. Ah! The little girl jumps at my introduction, timid though it is. She must have been sobbing so much she didn't hear the gate creaking or my approaching footsteps. Sniffling frantically, is she trying to suck her snot back up her nostrils? She lifts her head and wiped her red eyes with the back of her arm. Do I know you? Gee, I don't know, do you? Oh, frowns. She looks confused. Okay, I guess that wasn't the nicest greeting in the world. Sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. Is something wrong? Yeah, something bad happened. Bad? I crouched down beside the girl, bringing our faces level. Like, what exactly? It's all my fault. You won't tell my mama, will you? No, that depends on what your problem is. Will you tell me what's wrong, please? I can't help you if I don't know. You'll help me? I'd like to, if you'd let me. Well, the thing is, I kinda lost the key to my house. Your key? I can't get back in without it. And where do you live exactly? Over there. The girl points at the nearby apartment complex. Ah. Now I understand. That must be why this girl looks so familiar. She lives in the same building I do. I must have seen her in passing before, but her face never really registered in my mind. Well, I doubt I'll forget her after all this. So were you home by yourself? That's right. Mama left to go to the store. She told me to stay inside, but she was gone for a long time. I got hungry, so I used a spare key and went to the convenience store. And then you dropped your key. Do you know when your mother will be back? The girl shakes her head forlornly. How long has she been gone? I don't know. I think she left around 4. So it's been over an hour then. That really is a long time to leave such a little girl at home on her own. What about your dad? Don't have one. Oh, well, talk about awkward. I'm sorry. Why are you sorry? It's not your fault. I guess you're right. And how long have you been looking for your key? I don't know, forever. The little girl looks at me earnestly, her eyes wide in a manner that suggests it really might have been forever. But knowing how kids are, I decided to err on the side of caution. Translated from a child's parlance, forever equates to about 10 minutes, maybe less. That does sound like a predicament. I'll tell you what. Would you like me to help you search for your key? You would? I can't promise I'll find it, but I'll do my best. We should be careful though, it looks like it's gonna rain soon. Right, then we should start looking. Mama always said 2 heads are better than 1. The girl clasps her hands together with newfound determination. Her eyes are still red and puffy, but at least she stopped crying. Do I deserve some kind of trophy? I do. So, mister? Yes, what is it? I was wondering, what's your name? It's Mitsuki. Mitsuki. That's a pretty name. Aww, thank you. I'm glad you think so, too. At least this girl won't make wisecracks about the actress Tanimura Mitsuki. You sound just like the actress Tanimura Mitsuki. God damn it! Probably because she's never heard of her. And what's your name? I'm Tama. It's nice to meet you. We got an achievement, introductions. Tama, is it? I guess you have a pretty name too. Really? Sure. It's nice to meet you, Tama. It's nice to meet you too, Mitsuki. Hey. Tama tugs at my arm, her eyes large and imploring. Now that I know your name and your mind, does that make us friends? Friends, huh? Tama's a bit too young to be my friend, but it's not like I have droves of people hammering at my door begging for my attention. Depressing though it is, Tama's the first person I've met this week who seems interested in forming any kind of a relationship with me. I guess at this point I should take whatever scraps of kindness I can get. Sure, I'll be your friend. Yay! Thank you, Mitsuki. Tama brims brightly, her woe over her missing key all but forgotten, and I return her smile without thinking. There's a lot of people around Tokyo. I see them crammed on the trains during my morning commute and striding through the streets as I wend my weary way back home. For some reason, though, they never look happy. There isn't enough happiness in the world. I'm glad that, if only for a few seconds, I was able to brighten this young girl's day. All it took was a few words, and that's all it ever really takes to brighten someone's day. Man, I wish I was a kid again. It's not here either. I sighed and straightened up, wiping my hands on my pants. Are you sure you dropped a key in the playground, Tama? That's right, at least I think I did. I don't know. 1 second I had it, the next it was gone. And when was the last time you saw your key? Tama's brow creases. She shifts from foot to foot, her little fingers clenched at her front. Is she trying to remember through sheer force of will? I guess that's kind of admirable in a way, but I don't want her to overexert herself. I don't know. I don't know when I last had it. I locked the front door like Mama taught me, and I put the key in my pocket, but then, I don't know anything else. I see. If Tama doesn't remember the last time she saw her key, there's a chance she might have and dropped it at the playground after all. It could have fallen out of a hole in her pocket when she walked to the convenience store while she was examining the cute and colorful snacks lined up on the shelves inside. We've been searching the playground, leaving no pebble unturned for the last half hour or so, but we haven't made any progress. Tama's key continues to elude us, no matter how hard we search. My knees and my palms are dirty from kneeling on the ground, and the sky looks grayer and steelier than ever before. It's a blatant, unwelcoming sky, thick with heavy clouds, which says in no uncertain terms, leave. Cold wind runs through the small playground, the rusted swing set creaks ominously, and the roundabout turns a few degrees with the dull screech of a medieval torture instrument. I shiver and adjust the strap on my messenger bag over my shoulder. This isn't looking so good. Oh no. Am I never gonna find my key, Mitsuki? Am I gonna be stuck in this playground forever? What if my mama never comes home? I don't want to stay on the side of the playground all night. It's cold here and I'm scared. I want to go home. I miss my mama. Tears trickle from Tama's matted eyelashes, but trickle is perhaps too delicate of a word to describe this full-blown fit. Her face is turning red and her round tears the size of 100 yen coins drip down her cheeks. Hey, Tama? I look at the sobbing girl, her tiny body hunched in on itself with trepidation. I want to comfort her, but I don't know what to do. We're still virtual strangers, and I don't want to make her feel uncomfortable. I shiver. Overhead, the sky darkens. The clouds look thicker than ever. Any second now it's going to... Looks like it started to rain. Tama sniffles and wraps her arms around her middle. It's cold. My clothes are going to get wet. I don't like the rain. I don't think anybody likes the rain unless you're like a tree or something. Or maybe a lazy, apathetic teenager who really doesn't want to take part in their school's annual sports festival. I've been there myself. I used to pray for the rain before those big sporting events every year. It was kind of like a tradition. And though I lived in the countryside during my formative years, I've never been big on athletics. It must be because of my build, or maybe my constitution. Speaking of which, if I leave Tama in the rain for too long, her constitution is going to take a severe battering. She's only a little kid, and kids catch cold more easily than adults. I don't want her getting sick. I'll probably keep running for a while. I guess we're going to stop looking for your key. We can't keep it up in this weather. Does that mean you're going to leave me out here? I thought we were friends. Of course I'm not going to abandon you, silly. I'm not that heartless. Why don't you come and wait in my apartment for a bit? You can stay with me until the rain lets up or until your mother comes back. What do you think? Is that really okay? Of course it's okay. It's totally fine. What about it? You want to come with? If it's alright, then I like that. My mama told me not to go running off with strangers, but you're not a stranger. You're my friend. Thank you, Mitsuki. Aww. Hey, Mitsuki, you're hurting me. I know that. Then why don't you be more careful, you big dummy? I recall the words my mother told me once years ago when I was Tama's age and I was squirming in her lap just as much as Tama is in mine. It's supposed to hurt. My 6-year-old self was angry at my mother for issuing such a matter-of-fact response, and it looks like Tama's no different. Tama was crying in the park only 10 minutes ago, lamenting her sad fate, but she's recovered considerably after her escape from the elements. Now thoroughly re-energized, Tama squirms and kicks and nervously bashes my nose with her flailing elbow. Why do you want to hurt me? You're mean. I thought we were friends. It's because we're friends that I'm fussing over you like this. Good gracious. Now hold still. I'll never be able to clean you up like this. I don't want to be clean. I like being dirty. Well, too bad. We can't always have what we want in life. You should be old enough now to know that. Aw, he's a cutie. Little strawberries in her hair. I scrub at Tama's hair with a plain white towel finished from the bathroom. Tama's hair isn't all that wet. We weren't foolish enough to linger outside in the rain for too long, but I don't want to take any chances. My apartment isn't new per se. I bet this old ramshackle building is even more ancient than I am, but it's new to me, and I don't want to get water all over the tatami floor. Not that it would matter that much, I guess. The tatami's already stained and discolored from previous inhabitants, so are the walls and the ceiling. Mitsuki! Since I don't have a couch, I had to sit Tama down in my lap. Her behind is bonier than I imagined, and she isn't a very comfortable burden to bear. She isn't heavy, which is a plus, but she keeps wriggling like a fish, which makes it hard to keep a hold on her. You're a bully. That's right. Don't agree with me. But it's true. You're the worst. I know. I'll prove it too. I attack Tama's head with more intensity than before. I massage her scalp with the white towel while she shrieks and kicks her feet and tries to squirm away off my lap. I've got to say, this is a pretty uncomfortable arrangement. Man, I wish I had a couch. This apartment came more or less unfurnished, and I haven't gone around to decorating just yet. I did buy a cheap boxy television from a nearby pawn shop, but that's more because I felt sorry for the elderly store owner than because I actually wanted it. It's not a good TV. I mean, what can you expect for, 2,000 yen, right? It gets the job done. Stops me from feeling too lonely in the evenings. Let's go to the TV, however. This room is more or less empty. There are no couches, no bookshelves, no pictures on the walls. I should probably spruce this place up a little bit. But what's the point? I mean, it's not gonna get any visitors, right? Who am I supposed to be impressing here? Other than Tama, of course. Why are you being so mean? I don't watch you. I don't want you catching a cold or roaming around my room like a damn dog, dripping water everywhere. But I like dogs. I like dogs too, but you're not a dog. What does that have to do with anything? You're the one who brought him up. It was just a simile. A what? Simile? A simile is when you liken something to something else. I look at the top of Tama's tousled head, her chopping hair sticking up in all directions like a bird's nest, and sigh. You know what? Never mind. There's no point lecturing Tama about the finer points of linguistics. I'm not her teacher. Now, can't you try and behave yourself? If you just sat patiently like a nice girl, this wouldn't have to take so long. But you're pulling on my hair. Well, sorry, princess. I'm not used to looking after little girls. In case you hadn't noticed, my hair is shorter than yours. You're even meaner than Mama. She pulls my hair a lot when she brushes it, but you're 10 billion times worse. I haven't had any practice. Then you shouldn't put your hands on my head. I'm not doing this because I want to. I'm trying to keep you dry. And my apartment, too. It's not like it even matters. Your apartment's ugly anyways. Oh, it is it? Yep. My left eye twitches. Tama's only speaking the truth. Harsh though it is. Little kids are like that. They haven't learned about flattery, so they just say, whatever's on their minds, no matter how biting. I shouldn't be annoyed at her, but this is my home she's talking smack about. It's not a nice home, I'll admit it, but it's my home all the same. Then what's your apartment like, huh? I can't imagine it's much different to mine. It is different. Our apartment is small, but Mama made it look pretty. There are pictures on the walls and shelves and lots of cats. Cats? I thought our landlord didn't allow pets. We have a calendar on the wall with cat photos, and Mama lets me turn each page at the start of every month. I see. Well, your apartment does sound a lot nicer than mine. You see? But that doesn't mean I'm gonna let you mess my place up. Now stop being a brat. This will be over before you know it. Mitsuki, I thought you were my friend. Tama's uncooperative wails fill the room. I'm a little worried the neighbors will overhear and file some kind of complaint. I don't want my neighbors to hate me. Guess I better finish drying Tama's hair pronto. Her hair is pretty short, but it's quite thick and it takes a while to clean. To make matters worse, she absolutely refuses to sit still. I hope I can finish this chore soon, for both of our sakes. I'm not sure which of us is going to snap first. Hey Tama, you still mad at me? Tama turns her back to me, eyes narrowed. The little brat is busy staring at my small boxy TV, which I turned on to stop her whining. I thought it was a pretty ingenious plan, but it might have been a little too effective. Tama's so glued to the TV, she hasn't glanced at me, let alone spoken to me for the last 5 minutes. That TV show, whatever it is, must be really engrossing. Either that or she hates me so much she can't stand to be in the same room as me. So much for being friends, right? Tama, what are you watching? Tama snorts again, but she doesn't reply. Well, it's not like I care, I was just trying to be nice. At least Tama's hair is dry now, if a bit messy. Unfortunately, her clothes are still kinda damp, her shirt clings to her, and the knees of her denim pants are all muddy. I mean, I could have run a bath for the little madame and put her dirty clothes in the washing machine, but drying her hair was enough of a chore. She never deigned to wear one of my old shirts now, especially as she seemed to regard me as her mortal enemy. Friendship can be such a fickle thing. Tama, you sure you don't want to talk? Tama doesn't reply, not with the words at least. It says she turns her head and sticks out her tongue. Jeez. I hope it wasn't this annoying when I was young. No response. Hey, you should be grateful, you know. I'm trying to look out for you. This at least is enough to unstick Tama's tongue. She faces me smirking wickedly and says, I think you're the one who needs somebody to look out for you. What was that? Your room was so small and dirty, it's gross, and so are you. I thought you were nice, but you're a rotten bully, just like Kichi. I don't know who Kichi is, but I know enough to realize that isn't a compliment. Oh, cut it out. I did you a favor. The least you could do is thank me. Thanks, you're so nice, Mitsuki. But Tama's voice is carefully flat, without any inflection at all. It's clear she doesn't mean it. Why, you little... I grip my teeth together. I need to keep my cool. Maybe Tama's acting up because she's worried about her mother. To be honest, I'm starting to worry about her mother too. Where is she? You think your mother will be back soon, Tama? Oh no. Do you have any way to contact her? Nope. Does your mother go out without you quite often? Sometimes. Well, then I guess you might be waiting a while. Maybe. Just what kind of person is Tama's mother anyway? What possessed her to abandon her young daughter? Judging by Tama's responses, this doesn't seem to be a one-off. It must happen on a semi-regular basis. Tama might be a brat, but arguing with her won't get me anywhere. They'll just make the pair of us unhappy. The situation is depressing enough as it is. What's with all the rain and falling outside my window? Maybe I should do something to cheer us up. Hey Tama, I was wondering. You're not hungry, are you? Tama tries to feign indifference. We are mortal enemies after all. But her intrigue is blatantly obvious. How cute. I might be a little hungry, maybe. So that's a yes? Yeah. I was waiting for Mama to come home and make dinner, but she never did. I only bought some bread at the convenience store. I didn't want to ruin my appetite. Aw, what a sweet gesture. Mama spends lots of time cooking, so I try to eat the food she makes, but I don't really like green peppers. Oh, I'm with you on that. Tama whispers the phrase green peppers as though it's some kind of voodoo curse. Do you eat the green peppers your mama makes, Tama? Sometimes. Green peppers are gross, but Mama says they're good for me, so I try. It doesn't always work, though. Maybe that's why Mama hasn't come back home. It's because I spit out my green peppers and hide them when she isn't looking. She must know I've been a bad girl. This might be punishment. Hey, don't be silly, Tama. I'm silly? Yeah, you're not a bad girl. There's no way. Well, she was being quite badly behaved when I was drying her hair, but I might be partially to blame for that. I should have been gentler. Spitting in your food is quite naughty, but I can understand your feelings. I don't like green peppers much either. You don't? Nah, they're so bitter. My mom told me I learned to like them when I became an adult, but I'm an adult now, and well, in the legal sense at least. And I still can't stand them. My mama's the same. She says all adults eat green peppers without complaining. Well, I don't. I see, so my mama was lying? Oh, no, I don't think she was lying. She was just... Does that mean you're not a real adult, Mitsuki? Oh, gosh. I do wonder myself sometimes. For an adult, you're not very tall. I get that a lot. So how about the food? Can I make you something if you like? I might not look it, but I'm a pretty decent cook. I don't know. Mama told me she wouldn't be out too long. I always eat dinner with her. I know that, but your mama isn't back yet, is she? After drying her hair, I asked reticent Tama to take me to her own apartment. The lights were off, and though I knocked on the door, I didn't receive any reply. In the end, I slid a note beneath the door with my apartment number written on it. My reasoning was, let's be positive here, when Tama's mother returns, she'll be able to find her daughter again with ease. I still haven't seen any sign of her, though. I wonder what's going on. I guess you're right. Mama goes on her own sometimes, but she usually comes back after a few minutes. Tama glances at the clock hanging on the wall. It's past 7 already, and the sun outside is starting to set. I'm worried about her. Oh, the poor thing. As the adult here, I need to try and cheer her up. It's my job, it's my duty, it's my responsibility. Maybe this will take her mind off her mother, if nothing else. Alright. I roll up my sleeves and get to my feet. I'm gonna start making dinner. Huh? You're really gonna cook for me? That's right, I'll whip up something delicious, and there won't be any green peppers in it either, I promise. I don't know. I should wait for Mama to come back, but, well... I can try your food, Mitsuki, if it isn't too icky. Geez, thanks for the vote of confidence. Guess I'll have to do my very best. Now, what do you think about a nice warm plate of omelet rice? Ah, omelet rice. You like omelet rice, Tama? It's one of my favorites. Ha, I knew it. What little kid doesn't love omelet rice? I think I've hit onto a winning idea. I just hope Tama's mother comes back soon. There's only so much I can do to keep Tama entertained, and omelet rice won't be enough to fix all of our problems. Where is Tama's mother anyway? By the time I finish making Tama's food, the sun has set and stars have come out to play. I flick on the light, then take a seat by Tama's side at the low table in my living/dining room. So, I set the plate of omelet rice on the table before my young guest. I only made one portion, but I'm starting to regret it. The omelet rice looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. The omelet is an even yellow color, a little like the pudding you might buy at a convenience store, but less artificial. The smooth, unbroken omelet is topped with ketchup and filled with rice. The rice itself was fried in a wok, and it's filled with chopped bits of sausage, carrot, and peas. True to my words, there's not a single green pepper in sight, whole or diced. The meal was rather simple to make, and I slapped it together with a few ingredients still in my fridge. I needed to use up my eggs before they went rancid, and the carrots had been lying uneaten in the bottom shelf of my fridge for more than a week. I'm not that bad at cooking, but I don't really like cooking for myself. I can't get fired up when I'm the only one who eats the finished product. Well, maybe it sounds spoiled, but if I'm going to put the work in, I'd like to be complimented for it. And what's the point in trying if nobody knows how much effort you've expended? During my time in the city, I've been subsiding mostly on microwavable meals and instant noodles. I bought a bunch of groceries when I first moved in with the lofty, idealistic thought that I'd take care of my health and eat 5 fruits or vegetables a day, but that didn't really happen. Oh well, at least I had a chance to show off my cooking prowess today. I guess picking up those eggs wasn't a complete waste. Mitsuki? Did you make this yourself? That's right, while you were watching your silly kids anime. Pretty Magical Pumpkin is not silly. Right, I'm sorry. What I meant to say is, while you were watching your very smart and clever kids anime, Pretty Magical Pumpkin isn't just for kids, adults watch it too. Well, maybe some weirdos do. Mama watches it with me and she isn't a weirdo. Mama likes Pumpkin too, she does. I'm sure she does. At least I'm sure that's what she tells Tama. Parents are always lying to the kids, either to shut them up or make them happy. It can work in the short term, but I remember feeling pretty betrayed when I learned Santa wasn't real. He's not? Anyway, as I was saying, when you were watching your very smart and clever anime, which can be enjoyed by both adults and children worldwide, I glanced at Tama. This time she doesn't interrupt. Did those amendments make her happy? I was slaving away in the kitchen preparing this meal just for you. It's made from leftovers, but I hope you like it. Leftovers? Tama pokes her fork into the omelet's soft yellow exterior. But it looks something from a restaurant. A 5-star restaurant, no doubt. I don't know about stars, but it looks a lot like the omelets from Petit Jardin. Ah, Petit Jardin, huh? It's a pretty well-known chain of family restaurants that serves cheap and cheerful meals for kids and beleaguered parents too exhausted to cook for them. I lived out in the countryside when I was a kid, but whenever I went shopping with my parents in the nearest city, we always stopped by Petit Jardin. I think I celebrated a couple of my birthdays there too. Having my food compared to that of a restaurant's not bad, I guess. But I'm proud of my cooking, it's pretty much my only skill. And I'd rather have it likened to something a little more classy. Oh well, it's only omelet rice, what can you expect? To a little kid like Tama, Petit Jardin is probably the epitome of fine dining. Well, I'm glad you think it looks good. Looks too good. You didn't buy this from a store, did you? Of course not, I didn't leave this apartment, you saw me. I would never be irresponsible enough to leave a kid on her own. Who do you think I am, your mother? Maybe you didn't leave it, you could have called someone to bring the food to you. I know all about that, you see. I'm not stupid, and you can't trick me. It's called home delivery. Ah, that's very clever, Tama, but this isn't delivery food, it's DiGiorno. Nobody knocked on the door, and you didn't see anybody else entering the room, right? Well, no, but I made this food myself, and I made it just for you. Really? That's right. You made it for me? That's what I said I was gonna do, isn't it? And I said lots of mean things to you. It's alright, I forgive you. You said mean things to me because I was mean to you first. I cooked for you because I wanted to make you feel better. Think of it as an apology. I don't want you to be sad. It'd be much, much better if we could both be friends again, right? We can be friends? Sure we can. You're the one who said it first. I don't want you to hate me, so I tried my best. Now why don't you try some of your food? Almond rice tastes better than most delicious when it's still warm. You have to hurry. Ah, that's right. Have to hurry, have to hurry. Chanting this under her breath, Tama picks up her fork and plunges its prongs into the side of the omelet. The omelet breaks beneath the force of Tama's fury, and steam escapes from the heart of my culinary creation. Tama's nostrils twitch like a rabbit's. She swallows, and then... Thank you for the food. She scoops a forkful of rice with omelet, with a generous amount of ketchup up to her lips. Her motions with the fork are a little awkward, and she drops a few kernels of rice back onto her plate when she's blowing on her food. I guess she isn't the most skilled with a knife and fork, but her effort is valiant nonetheless. Awkwardly, she slides the fork into her mouth. She chews. While she chews, pushing her food from one cheek to the other, I watch. I wait. I know my food looks good, but what about the taste? I hope it's to her liking, and then to my immense relief... Aww, I got an achievement. Yay. Really delicious. Do you like it? Yeah, it tastes just as good. No better than the almost rice at Petit Jardin. Well, I'm glad my handmade food is better than the frozen prepackaged omelets they serve there. Tama scoops up another forkful of rice and chews. This is amazing. I didn't even know guys could cook. Sure we can if we work at it. Everything gets easier with practice. We have cooking classes at school sometimes, but the boys always complain. Kichi says only girls wear aprons. Sounds like this Kichi will make a very attractive husband later on in life. What do you mean? Nothing, just talking to myself. What do you make in cookery class anyway? Last time we made fruit salad. Ah, fruit salad. I think I made that back in elementary school too. I wasn't very good at it. You're much, much better at cooking than I am, Mitsuki. Well, I am older than you. I guess. You know what? What? I think your cooking might even be better than my mama's. Than your mother's? Well, that is high praise. Mama tries to cook every day, but she doesn't always have the time. She's always busy at work. Tama frowns. Maybe she'd like this omelet too. Maybe it would make her happy. I should save some for her when she comes back home. If she comes back home. Tama bows her head, shoulders slumped. All of a sudden, she looks utterly drained. Her expression is even cloudier than the evening sky outside my apartment. Oh, she really must be worried about her mom, huh? I mean, usually it's the other way around. Aren't parents supposed to worry about their kids instead? I glance at the clock. It's almost 8 now, and it's pitch black outside. Where in the world is Tama's mother? She's been gone for hours. Tama, are you alright? I'm fine. But you look kinda down. I said I'm fine. I'm not even sad. Crying will make the food taste salty, so I can't cry. I don't want to ruin my meal. Tama scoops up another forkful of rice and stuffs in her mouth. Then another and another. She's eating so quickly, her cheeks are starting to puff out like a hamster's. Maybe she's trying to drown her sorrow in carbohydrates. We've all been there. But if she keeps this up, she'll make herself sick. Hey, slow down, you'll... Choke. I guess my warning came a little too late. I reach across the table and pat Tama on the back. I don't want to hit her too hard. She's a young girl, not a baseball, but I don't want her to asphyxiate in my apartment. That would be pretty hard to explain in court. Though Death by Omelet Rice does have a certain ring to it. Maybe it would make a certain good name for her band. By this point, Tama's coughs have started to subside. I let my hand fall from her back and look at her concerned. Are you alright, Tama? Do you feel any better? A little, Thank you, Mitsuki. Oh, it's no problem. Your big brother's here to look out for you. Big brother? Crap, did I have to say something incredibly stupid? Yes, I did. Let's try and change the subject. You should chew your food before you swallow it, Tama. Didn't your mother tell you that? She did, but I couldn't help it. I was so hungry and the food tastes so good. I'm glad you like my food, but it's not worth dying over. You worried me for a second there. I did? Yeah, you're in my house, so you're in my protection. I need to look after you. Honestly, when it comes to kids, you can't take your eyes off them, not even for a second. I'm Sorry, Mitsuki. I'll try to be more careful. I don't want to make anybody worry about me. I don't want to get in the way. But I do anyways. Maybe that's why Mama isn't coming back. Tama. This atmosphere is getting a little too heavy. The sound of the falling rain outside my window doesn't help matters either. Tama's annoying when she's screaming and pouting and making fun of me, but I found even that preferable to her tears. I mean, I don't want her to be sad. Seeing her so wan and withdrawn, her lower lip trembling, is breaking my heart. I can't stand it. How could her mother abandon her like this? She must be a cruel, heartless person. When I see her, if I see her, I'd like to give her a piece of my mind. I'll stride right up to her and I'll tell her. Hello, hello, is anybody here? I'm sorry to bother you, but it's cold and wet out there and I can't help myself. Oh, I'm so worried. If you're here, please let me in. My name is Himuro and I'm looking for my daughter. Tama's mother doesn't look quite like how I imagined. I was picturing a grumpy, ill-tempered woman like an evil stepmother from a fairy tale, content to leave the poor young girl out in the cold and the rain. But the actual one in my apartment kneeling at my low wooden table is the complete opposite of that. Tama's mother, Himuro, did you say her name was? Is hardly an evil, twisted old stepmother. For one thing, she's Tama's birth mother, and for another, there aren't any wrinkles. There's no gray hairs. There might be some purplish blue bags that look like bruises beneath her eyes, and her skin might be a touch too pale, but other than that, she doesn't look a day over 25. She's probably around the same age as I am, maybe a couple years older, give or take. I can't exactly call her fresh-faced, she looks too tired for that, but there's something kind of soft about her, I guess. If I had to sum up her looks in a single word, it would probably be pretty. She's not breathtaking, ridiculously gorgeous like a Hollywood actress on the big screen, no, but I kind of prefer that. It makes her seem a bit more, approachable. And besides, most people don't have teams of makeup artists following them around all day. We can't all aspire to be like Scarlett Johansson. It's just not realistic. Himuro sips the green tea I served her in a measured, ladylike way. Her lips, she isn't wearing lipstick, pressed against the rim of the cup like two flower petals. Her motions are very graceful, and watching her drink is starting to make me feel thirsty. She'd probably boost sales if she appeared in adverts. Why didn't I make myself an extra cup of tea anyway? I guess I got so caught up in the not Scarlett Johansson down-to-earth beauty, I just kind of forgot. Mama, Mama, I missed you! Tama leans against her mother's side, nuzzling her head against her shoulder like a little lion cub. Tama. Himuro's tired eyes, which look older than the rest of her face, crinkle with relief. She sets her cup of tea on the table with a well-practiced motion. Did she study tea ceremony as a kid or something? What's with this perfect poise? And smiles at her daughter. I'm sorry you got back so late. I really am. You must have been worried sick. It's okay, Mama. I wasn't worried, not one bit. That little liar. Himuro looks just as skeptical as I am because she purses her lips together and frowns. Are you sure you weren't worried? Well, maybe a little, but I wasn't lonely. I was with Mitsuki the whole time. Mitsuki, you mean Mr. Tanimura? Yeah, it's me. You can just call me Mitsuki, though. Mr. Tanimura sounds kind of, well, Oh, I see. Then, Mitsuki, is it? Mitsuki. Ah? Somehow the transition from family name to given name feels far too fast. I've only known you for 5 minutes. Don't you think we should slow things down a notch? That's what I want to say. But since I'm the one who suggested we eschew formalities in the first place, would probably sound ridiculous. Hey, Mitsuki. Tama, still glued to her mother's side like a kernel of sticky rice, blinks at me curiously. Your face has gone all red. It has? Yeah, you didn't get sunburned, did you? No, I'm fine. Maybe I should change the subject. That sounds pretty good right about now. So, Himuro. Oh, if you want to call me Mitsuki, you should probably use my given name too. It would feel awkward otherwise. I don't mind either way, but if that would make you feel more comfortable, then... Well, I don't mind really. With a small, soft smile, Himuro brushes a few strands of dark hair behind her ear. I'm Kyouko. Kyouko? I taste her name on my tongue. Kyoko's a pretty normal name. In fact, it's so benign it might be a little bit disappointing, but I think it kind of suits her. Himuro Kyouko. Guess that would make her daughter Himuro Tama. I know Kyoko's a bit old-fashioned now. My parents have always been rather traditional, you see. I'm a little ashamed that she managed to figure me out. I thought my thoughts that transparent, and I hurriedly try to reassure her. Hey, there's nothing wrong with Kyouko. I think it's pretty. You do? Yeah, the name suits you. I mean, you're pretty too. The moment I realize I've said that, my face turns pale. I probably should have kept that on the down low. I don't want Kyouko to think I'm being too forward. And yet, to my relief, Kyouko places one hand to her mouth, her fingers curled together, and giggles. She's laughing at me. As if this couldn't be any more embarrassing. Why are you laughing, Mama? Did Mitsuki say something funny? It's nothing, really. I just... I'm sorry, Mitsuki. I wasn't laughing at you. I just thought it was rather charming. How earnest you were. Well, thanks. I was so worried you'd get mad at me. Why would I do a thing like that? Well, I don't know. We're total strangers and all, and I guess I was being a bit forward. Maybe, but if you live in this apartment, that would make us neighbors of a sort. I'd be happy if we could get along in the future, and I'm glad you think I'm pretty. No problem. So, Tama's your daughter, right? That's right, Tama's my precious daughter, and I love her a lot. I was so worried about her, but it seems my worries were in vain. Thank you for taking care of her, Mitsuki. Oh, it's no problem. Anybody would have done the same thing. I'm not so sure about that. People can be rather uncaring. Tama and I have lived in this apartment block for many years now, but I still haven't made any friends here. Most people look the other way when they see us. I'm sure they have their own lives to worry about, but a simple good morning would hardly hurt. Kyouko sighs and shakes her head. Well, I'm pleased it was a kind man like yourself who found my Tama. I'm not sure what I would have done if I couldn't find her. I'm fine, Mama. Mitsuki was really super nice to me. He helped me look for my key, and then he let me watch TV in his apartment, and then... Tama pauses. She puffs out her cheeks in defiance, her arms folded. He bullied me a little, but I let him know I wasn't going to stand for that, and then he made me rise to apologize. He bullied you? I dried her hair. Or tried to. We got caught in the rain. Tama was wet. Oh, I see. Tama's quite stubborn about things like that. She hates having baths, too. I found that out the hard way. She was squirming so much she nearly put out one of my eyes. I apologize on my daughter's behalf, then. So that must have been funny to watch. I wonder if Kyouko usually laughs this often. She doesn't look the type. She must be relieved that Tama's alright. I can tell at a glance that Kyouko really does love her daughter. And that being the case, why did she leave Tama on her own for so long? She was gone for 4 hours. Perhaps Kyouko notices the crease in my brow because she sighs softly, her gentle laughter evaporating like morning dew. I didn't mean to be gone for so long. A simple trip to the supermarket turned into quite the ordeal. I picked Tama up from school when my shift at work finished. I was planning to make her beef over rice, but we'd run out of beef and ginger. I don't like leaving Tama at home on her own, but she was tired and she said she wants to stay and watch TV. I thought about bringing her with me, but I didn't want to disrupt her. That probably would have led to a temper tantrum. I told myself it didn't matter, and I would be gone in a few minutes. The plaintive expression on Kyoko's face tells me that this isn't what happened. Well, that and the fact that I found Tama crying in the playground a few hours ago. On the way to the convenience store, there was an incident. The long pause before she settles on the word incident piques my interest. I lean against the table, curious. What happened? Oh, I'm making it sound worse than it was. I'm alright now, really, though I was a bit shaken at the time. You see, a man bumped into me when I was waiting across the road. I didn't think it was anything serious at first, just a simple mistake. But then I looked down and realized my bag had gone missing. You mean he stole it? That's right, but don't worry, he didn't hurt me. I was so shocked I couldn't move. I just stood there frozen and shouted, "Wait, thief, he's taking my bag!" Looking back on it, it's a little embarrassing. Normally I would have never dreamed of causing a scene like that, especially in public. I mean, but it was the only way to stop the thief. I knew I'd never be able to chase him down on my own, and my bag had my phone and my wallet and my keys inside. But you were right to shout out. You shouldn't have to worry about inconveniencing other people. You were the one who was inconvenienced. Though inconvenience might be something of an understatement. So what happened next? The guy was caught, right? That's right. A kind passerby heard my cries, saw the perpetrator running away, and she deduced what had happened. She restrained the thief from me and got my bag back. I would have been content to let it go at that. I needed to buy my groceries and I was worried about Tama, but the woman who helped me called the police. Kyouko sighs. I appreciate her help, of course, but I wish she hadn't bothered. I had to wait until the police arrived on the scene and they took me back to the nearest station so I could write out a statement. It all took a very long time and I was so exhausted by the end of it. I kept looking at the clock wondering when I could leave. I kept thinking about Tama all by herself waiting for me. I was so worried. If you knew you were going to be gone for a long time, couldn't you have called somebody to look after Tama? Oh, I would have, but I don't know anybody who'd be willing to lend a hand. What about your parents? Wouldn't they help? My parents? Oh no. Kyouko laughs bitterly. My mother might perhaps, if she weren't wedged so firmly under my father's thumb. But it doesn't matter. The two of them live in Shizuoka. It's too far away. What about your friends? If I had any friends, of course I would have asked them and looked after my little girl, but like I said, everyone in this apartment avoids me. They act like I'm some kind of leper. My work colleagues and the mothers who drop their kids off at Tama's school aren't much better. I see. Does that mean Kyouko and Tama are all alone out here? Perhaps we aren't so dissimilar after all. The policemen were very nice. They mistook my anxiety about Tama for worries about my stolen bag. They kept asking me if I was alright and offering me cups of tea, but it didn't make me feel any better. I don't know how to tell them I was worried about my daughter. I was afraid if they knew I'd left my daughter home on her own, I'd be charged with negligence. And I suppose that would be fair. I was being negligent. I probably deserved to be punished. That thief inconvenienced me, yes, but I committed an even bigger crime this evening. Hey, don't be so down on yourself. You didn't know your bag was going to get stolen when you went out? But I shouldn't have gone out on my own to begin with. If I hadn't left Tama behind, none of this would have happened. I really am a poor excuse for a mother. I hope you can forgive me. Kyouko bows her head in subjugation. But this gesture only serves to make me sigh. Why is she apologizing to me anyway? You don't need to do that, you know. I'm not angry with you. But it's because of my carelessness that you had to look after my little girl. It would have been perfectly understandable if you were mad. But I'm not, so don't need to worry about it. If you really want to know my opinion, I think you're being way too hard on yourself. Really? That's right. Your bag was stolen in the middle of the street, but instead of being angry, you were afraid of bothering people with your problems. The criminal who took your bag was caught, but you were more worried about returning home to your daughter than pressing any charges. When the police questioned you, you felt you were the one who committed a crime instead. And now you're trying to apologize to me after everything you've been through? I don't get it. But I imposed on you. You had to look after Tama in my stead. You never asked me to look after her. I did it of my own free will, because I wanted to, and I'm glad I was able to help out. If anything, I should be thanking you. Huh? What do you mean by that exactly? I mean, well, in a way, I think I'm like you. You are? I've only been living in Kawasaki for a little while, but I still don't know any of the people who live in this apartment. I haven't made any friends, and my family all live out in Amori. I thought I was going to be on my own out here, you know? I just tried to make peace with that idea until today. First I met Tama, and then I met you. You're the first person who's come into my apartment as a guest, and you're the first person I've been able to serve tea to. I know we're still strangers, but we live in the same building, like you said. That makes us neighbors, and well, I draw in a deep breath and bow my head. I'm happy I was able to meet you, Kyouko. It's all thanks to her that this cold, rainy evening, which was shaping up to be a total write-off, ended up a touch less lonely than per usual. I think that's something to be happy about, don't you? Kyouko blinks at me for a few moments, perhaps unsure of what to say. She frowns, her lips pursed, before... Oh, Mitsuki. A very small smile, thin as a piece of thread, captures her lips. Thank you for reassuring me. I'm happy to know there's no ill will between us because of this. If I'm being perfectly honest, I'm glad I was able to meet you too. I had no idea I had such a reliable, wonderful person living so close to me. Wonderful, huh? Not sure I go quite that far. And I don't think Kyouko really needs to bow to me either. I'm not like I'm an emperor or anything. Oh man, but if I was, that'd be so awesome. I'm just plain old Tanimura Mitsuki, not the actress. Some painfully average guy who still hasn't graduated from university despite being in his early 20s. I'm nothing special. Certainly has nothing to write home about. I'm just one of the many that drifts through life aimlessly like a goldfish in a bowl. But I felt slightly less useless today than I usually do. It's not a huge milestone in my shiny new life trademark, but it's a milestone all the same, and I'm glad it happened. Finally, for the first time since I moved to the city, I might have managed to make a friend. Aww. That was so cute. And yet, despite all these idle fancies, I don't see Kyouko or Tama again. The days tick by idly, marked by the date displayed in the lower right-hand corner of my second-hand laptop. I attend cram school during the weekdays, then stagnate in my room when the weekend arrives. I should probably start looking for a part-time job. The savings I scraped together after helping my dad in a store are going to run out eventually, and I'd rather not stand idle until that happens. Though this apartment is pretty cheap, it still takes a chunk out of my finances each month. And yet, despite the ever-pressing concern of bankruptcy, I don't do anything. I have to force myself to get out of my futon in the mornings, and the commute via train to my cram school is nothing short of miserable. At least I'm still living in my apartment. That's something I haven't become a total shut-in just yet. I'm doing the bare minimum it takes for a person to survive, but when I left for the city, I didn't want to do the bare minimum. I told myself I was going to work harder than ever, get in a good university, and make something of myself. I wanted to succeed. It's a shame making resolutions inside one's own head isn't enough to change anything. Actions speak louder than words, after all, and words are not worth more than thoughts ever will be. Sometimes I almost feel like giving up. I know, even if I don't get into a good university, or any university at all, my parents will welcome me back home with open arms. No matter what happens, they'll believe I tried my best. That's because they trust me. My mother calls me every other day asking how I am. She sounds so excited about my future. I'm forced to tell bare-faced lies to hide my shame. Oh yeah, it's going great. I'm doing really well. The big C is kind of overwhelming, but I'm having a lot of fun. If by fun you mean sitting around my tiny room eating instant noodles. I'm really living the dream. My neighbors don't talk to me. My classmates don't look at me. I have no way to spend time with her and nothing to do. God, I wish something would come and break up this monotony of my dull life. Anything. But I'm greeted instead by a big, resounding nothing. Nothing. Until today. I'm lying on the tatami floor, like usual. Staring up in the ceiling, like usual. I don't know how long I've been lying down, and perhaps more alarmingly, I don't care. A little voice in the back of my mind nags me, tells me to get up and do something productive, like studying or cooking dinner, or looking for job openings online. I could even do jumping jacks, though that would probably bother people in the living room downstairs. Anything would be better than lying here, stagnating. I I can't afford to do nothing for much longer, though, because somebody's knocking on my front door. Somebody actually wants to talk to me. I don't know anyone in this apartment complex other than Kyouko and Tama, so logic dictates that it must be them. I sit up, excitement bubbling in the pit of my stomach until... Of course not. Don't be so stupid. My anticipation withers. Why am I getting so worked up? Am I really that desperate for human company? There are absolutely no guarantees that Kyouko standing on my doorstep. She has no reason to talk to me again. Not now that Tama's been recovered. It's more than likely a salesperson. Don't let yourself get too excited. You'll just end up disappointed. That's how life is. I lie back down like an upturned turtle, waiting for the knocking to die down and the unknown visitor to take their leave when... I hear the knocking again. It sounds even more insistent this time. If that really is a salesperson, they're certainly keen. Well, I think judicially, if they want to talk to me that badly, maybe I can oblige. Who knows, seeing somebody just as desperate as I am might cheer me up, if only for a few fleeting moments. Alright, I'm coming. Just wait a second. God. Pat over to the front door, shuffling my indoor slippers, a gift from my parents before I moved out, along with an underutilized rice cooker, and reached out for the handle. The lock clicks. I pull the door open, expecting nothing but disappointment. Why should it be anything else? And... Yay, it's Mitsuki again. It feels like it's been ages. Tama? That's my name. I know that's your name. I wasn't asking that. I was just wondering. What are you doing here? Mama brought me here. Come and say hi, Mama. Come on. Tama, I told you not to run on ahead like that. You could trip and hurt yourself. But I didn't hurt myself, so I'm fine. Ah, the irrefutable logic of a child. I'm almost impressed by how brazen it is. It didn't happen, so I'm fine. Anyway, I want to see Mitsuki. It's been so long. Well, it's nice to know somebody missed me. It's been a while, yes, but you shouldn't bang on his door like that. It's rude. I hope we're not imposing on you, Mitsuki. Kyouko looks at me anxiously. A plastic bag held in her hand. Now I wonder what's inside. Oh, no, you're not imposing at all. You could never impose. I was just wondering, crap, I wish I'd worn some nicer clothes. Kyouko's gonna think I'm a slob stumbling to the door in this old shirt. To what do I owe the pleasure? Well, I know I said I didn't need to apologize, but after everything that happened last week, I thought it would be prudent to... Hey, Mitsuki, I'm gonna watch TV, okay? Pretty Magical Pumpkin's on. Tama snakes around me, a devilish grin on her face, and dashes into my inner sanctum. She didn't even take her shoes off. The slob. What a brat. She's gonna leave dirty footprints all over my floor. It's not like I'm the most house-proud guy around, but in my apartment is a little bit of a dump. But I don't want her making it any dirtier than it already is. Hey, Tama, you need to take off your shoes before you enter somebody's house. Haven't I told you that before? But this isn't a real house. It's a tiny little room. Be that as it may, you still need to observe basic manners. I don't want Mr. Tanimura to think that you're a rude little girl. He's a Mr. Tanimura. He's just plain old Mitsuki. Either way, I'd like you to show him a little bit of respect, young lady. I'm not a lady. I'm just a kid. Exactly. You're my kid, and if you don't listen to me, you'll be eating green peppers for the rest of the week. I hate green peppers. Then you'd better take your shoes off. Boo, you're mean. Mama's mean. I can be much, much meaner. Just try me. Eek. Tama's face turns pale. She bends down suddenly with a picture of obedience and begins to remove her shoes. Then she lines them up neatly next to my own worn sneakers. How's that? Did I do a good job? You did. Good girl. Does that mean I don't have to eat the green peppers? You still need to eat your green peppers, Tama. But I'll make an exception tonight. Yay, Mama's the best. Boy, this girl. Her moods sure are mercurial. Are all children this easily placated? Now, what do you say to Mitsuki? Sorry for being a bad girl, Mitsuki. I won't wear my shoes in your house ever again. Even if your place is tiny, the floor is already dirty, and it's not really a real house. Tama, you shouldn't say things like that. Don't worry about it too much, Kyouko. I don't mind. I'm just glad to see Tama in such high spirits. Really, I'm glad for any human contact at all. Since when did I become so pathetic? Sob. See, Mama? Mitsuki says he doesn't mind. That means I can be as messy as I want. No, you don't have carte blanche to do that. No, it does not mean that. Mitsuki might not mind, but I do. Be on your best behavior, please. That sounds so boring, but if I don't gotta eat peppers, then I'll do my best. Good girl. Kyouko sighs and presses her fingers against her temple. Tama can be such a handful sometimes. She has far too much energy for her own good. Her poor mama can't keep up with her. Having a kid must be rough. You have no idea. Well, I do kind of feel bad making you wait by the door like that. Do you want to come in? Oh, I only intended to visit for a short while, but... Kyouko glances over my shoulder, her shoes now lined up. Tama has retreated once more into my room. She's sitting on the floor, cross-legged, flipping through the channels with my remote. Kyouko sighs. I suppose my daughter has other ideas. You don't mind, do you? Oh, of course not. Like I said, I'm happy to see you. It'd be no exaggeration to say I really couldn't be happier. Now, why don't I make you a cup of green tea? Lemon, of course, to be added. Once again, I'm really sorry for bothering you. And like I said, it's no bother at all. I smile at Kyouko and place the freshly brewed cup of green tea down before her. Be careful, it's hot. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. Kyouko brings the cup to her lips, her fingers perfectly still and steady, and blows on the steamy surface of the tea before taking a sip. As the seconds pass, the relaxing atmosphere begins to settle inside my apartment. The low, tinny sound of the television hums in the background, coupled with Tama's excited whoops. Steam rises from the inside of Kyoko's teacup, coiling and shifting like something alive. The aroma of green tea powder lingers in the air, the warm, relaxing kind of smell that reminds me of home. So, I am a little curious, why did you come to see me, Kyouko? Well, it's like I said earlier, I wanted to apologize for inconveniencing you the other day, though you already told me it's unnecessary. I don't consider what you did an inconvenience at all. Yes, well, that's very sweet of you. I think you might be rather too sweet, though. Too sweet? Is that even possible? I thought girls were supposed to have a separate stomach for desserts. Sadly, I don't eat desserts very much. You monster. Well, I guess we're never going to be a couple. I'm so sorry. You mean you don't like them? I do, but I'm old enough to have some self-control. The one with the incorrigible sweet tooth would be Tama over there. I prefer traditional Japanese sweets to pastries and cakes anyway. But to get back at the matter at hand, I thought it would be good. I thought it would be only polite if I repaid you in some manner. I know this isn't much, but... Kyouko opens the plastic bag she brought with her and procures something from its depths with a rustle. Here. She holds out the gift to me and I look at it curiously. There, resting in Kyoko's hands, is a small, neatly wrapped box. It looks about the size of a lunchbox. The handkerchief that wraps around the mystery item is rather cute. It's pale pink and decorated with cartoon cat faces. I wonder if Kyouko bundles Tama's lunch up in handkerchiefs like this when she sends her off to school. But maybe Tama eats school lunches instead. That might be easier for Kyouko to cope with being a single mother and all. Oh well, let's not read into this too much, shall we? You really didn't need to make me anything, but thank you all the same. I accept the box from Kyouko with a polite smile and unwrap it. The lid of the box is tightly sealed, and it's hard to see what exactly it contains, but its contents looks kind of brown, or maybe orange. I hope you like it. Thank you, I'm sure I will, but I have one question. Oh, what? I hope I don't sound stupid, but what's in the box exactly? It's Tempura. Tempura. Chopped burdock root with carrot with some lotus thrown in too. Oh, no, I know what Tempura is. I was just a little surprised. Oh? Kyouko dips her head shyly, hiding behind her loose hair. Oh, it's fine, really. Tempura feels kind of nostalgic, that's all. Nostalgic? My mother used to make it for me before. I pause. I'm not sure if I want to talk about the accident right now. Anyways, it was a dish we ate at home a lot. I haven't had it since I came here. It reminds me of my family. As is the comforting smell of green tea that continues to permeate the air. Green tea and tempura, huh? If I could hear the chirping of cicadas in the background, it'd be like I never left a morning. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Oh, it's no problem. Tama told me you were quite the cook, so I thought you might be able to use this as some sort of side dish. Then again, Kyouko's smile takes on a rueful edge. If you're as good as cooking as Tama said, you probably won't have any use for it. I've been quite busy with work lately, and I don't have enough time to cook. I'm not very good at it either. I have a habit of burning simple meals, and I'm not good at measuring out ingredients, and sometimes I nick myself with a knife when I'm cutting vegetables. Not that I cut myself when I was making this compare, of course. I was careful. I'd never be so careless as to bleed all over a present. But if I'm being quite honest, your cooking probably tastes better than mine. That's right, Mitsuki's rice omelet was much, much, much more delicious than yours. Is that so? It's true, totally true. Mitsuki's food tasted like something you get in a real restaurant. I bet Mitsuki will never forget about the rice in the cooker or cry when he peels onions. Tama, you're so cruel. Are you trying to punish me for all the times I've made you eat green peppers? I'm not trying to punish you, I'm being a good girl. How is making fun of my cooking being good? You told me to always tell the truth, so I'm telling it. Mitsuki's cooking is better than yours, that's the truth. Tama beams brightly and puffs out her chest with nary a shred of guilt. I'm not sure this little demon understands if she's done anything to feel guilty about in the first place. Boy, children sure are scary. In fact, Mitsuki's almond rice was even tastier than the almond rice in Petit Jardin. Well, I'm glad. That does sound wonderful, but now I'm even more uncertain about my present. Kyouko heaves a heavy sigh, her head hanging. Maybe I should ask for that Kimpura back. Oh, no, you don't. You gave it to me as a present, and I want to eat every last bite of it. But what if it isn't good? I might not have seasoned it enough, and I know I didn't cut the vegetables evenly. It's fine. I'm sure I'll love it all the same. You can't know that until you've tried it. Don't worry too much. I'm sure it'll be good. I don't know if that makes me feel any better. Kimpura is supposed to be a simple dish. That's why I decided to make it. I thought it'd be impossible to mess up, but now I'm starting to doubt myself. I wanted to do something kind for you, but it feels like I'm imposing instead. And I already said you aren't. I don't mind at all. You're very kind, Mitsuki, but I wish there was something more I could do for you. You've done more than enough already. I wonder... Kyouko looks at my tabletop. Her visit was so sudden and unexpected, I didn't get a chance to clean up before she arrived, and it's strewn with open English textbooks and my own notebooks from class. What's all this? Oh, it's nothing. I've just been studying a little, that's all. Which is a bald-faced lie, but leaving my books on the table in time myself will get around to studying eventually kinda counts, doesn't it? Hopefully? Probably not. Are you preparing for the university entrance exam next year by chance? That's right. I laugh awkwardly, not knowing what else to do, and run a hand through my hair. As you can see, I still haven't gotten into university, even though I'm so old. I'm a little behind my peers. Old? Kyouko frowns. You don't look old to me. I thought you were only 18. Well, thanks. I'm sure you're happy about that or not. If you want to know the truth, I'm actually 23. 23? Ugh, man, I bet Kyouko thinks I'm some kind of loser now. Man, I've just ruined my chances with her. Not that I had a chance to begin with, but if I did, that ship has totally sailed and sunk now. That's right, you've heard me. I'm 23 years old and I still haven't gone to university. It's pretty pathetic, huh? Oh no, I don't think that at all. Everybody moves at a different pace and our lives can lead us in unexpected directions. I'd never judge anybody based on their academic background. It would be highly hypocritical of me. I have no right to look down on you or anybody else. It doesn't matter when you go to university or if you go at all. That doesn't determine your worth as a person. I think it's impressive that you're still trying to achieve your goals. That's the most important thing. I know Kyouko means well, but her words of encouragement make me feel even more depressed. Trying. She thinks I'm trying? I might be able to lie to my mother about the effort I'm expending on my studies, which is in reality a big fat zero, but to Kyouko? How could I ever hope to deceive her when she's sitting in my living room at the opposite end of my table, looking at me with almost a motherly concern? It just isn't possible. I can't lie to her. I don't want to. I wouldn't be able to forgive myself. So I gave in. I don't know, trying is the right word. I'm not sure how well my studies are going, really. No, that isn't true. I know exactly how well everything's going. I opened textbooks on my table. It's going terribly. Terribly? That's right. I haven't been to school in almost 5 years. I was busy helping my parents out back in Omori. It's not like I resent them for it, but I kind of forgot how to study. You were helping your parents? That's right. This may be a personal question, but might I ask what you were helping them with? Oh, it's a long story, and it's probably not very interesting. That isn't true. I'd like to know more about you, Mitsuki. I'm sure I won't be bored. I don't have many opportunities to talk with our neighbors, so I'd like it if I could learn a little more about you. Besides, it isn't good to bottle things up. When she asked me like that, how can I refuse? You'd have to be some kind of a monster to say no to that face. You got me. She's got me in more ways than one. I don't think my heart's had such a rigorous workout in years. You say you're interested now, but I don't want to keep you for hours and hours, so I'll try to sum things up. You see, when I was in my last year of high school, my mom got into a pretty serious accident. I didn't really want to talk about the accident, but now it's out in the open. I feel strangely relieved. Maybe I've been trying to bury the past for too long. The truth was painful, so I hid it away in my heart. But hiding the truth doesn't change the past. Nothing can do that. It's already too late. She was hit by a car when she was crossing the road. It was pretty serious, too. She was taken to the hospital, and the doctors didn't think she'd survive. They were wrong. My mom recovered, but she was in a critical state for a while. It was pretty scary. My mom was always such a strong, lively woman, but she was reduced to an invalid almost a matter of seconds. I clenched my fists together beneath the table. It's been 5 years. But I still haven't forgiven that reckless driver, whoever they were. That's the worst thing about this debacle. I don't know who they were. Nobody does. The accident happened on a quiet road without any security cameras, and there weren't any witnesses. If the asshole who put my mom in such a state was caught, I mean, maybe I'd feel some kind of closure. You know, it'd be like those detective dramas my parents like so much. Justice has been served, and all that. It's too bad real life doesn't work that way. Well, my mom's a pretty tough woman, and she was determined to get better. She regained control of her upper body after a few months in the hospital, but she still couldn't walk. I don't think she'll ever walk again. She took it pretty well, though, all things considered. After a while, she was discharged from the hospital, but she still can't control her body from the waist down. Sadly, this has caused a few problems. My mom used to work with my dad in their store. It's this small, old-fashioned candy store in the middle of the countryside. It's never really been super popular, but it did well enough with the local kids, you know. After the accident, however, my mom couldn't help out in the store like she used to. She got tired more easily, and she couldn't help Dad with the stock. My parents aren't that well off, and they didn't have the money to hire anybody part-time, so I decided to step in. My parents asked me if I was sure, and didn't I want to go to university like the rest of my friends? But I was adamant. I figured they needed me, and I owed them for all they'd done for me. I only intended to help out for a while, but I guess I fell into a routine, and in the end, I stayed in no more than my parents for 5 years. At least until my mom's sister decided to move to Amora to help look after them. After my aunt moved in, my parents told me I should try and pursue my own dreams. I'm a little too old now, but they said I should study all the time so I could take my university entrance exams next year. I've been trying, but I'm so far behind everybody else, I'm afraid I'll never catch up. It kind of feels like I'm wasting my time, to be honest. I heave a heavy sigh, suddenly thirsty from all my talking, and trace a fingertip against the tabletop. Oh well, it's not like I can go back in time, you know, I just need to keep going forward, no matter how many times I get pushed back. That's all I can do, even if this ends in total failure. Oh, Mitsuki. Kyouko, who was listening to my story in rapt silence, now looks at me with unabashed sympathy. I'm not opposed to her sympathy, of course, but I don't like when people feel sorry for me. I stayed in Mori of my own free will. Nothing was tying me down there other than my love for my parents and my sense of filial duty. I don't want to feel ashamed about my past, and I'm not. I'm fine. I was fine at least, but I don't think you're a failure at all. It's very admirable that you helped your family for so long. You really are a model son. Your parents must be proud of you. I guess. They'll be less proud of me if I can't get into a decent university, but I know that's not true. Not really. My parents' love for me is more or less unconditional. I bet I can get involved in a gang or the Yakuza and they'd take me back with open arms. My dad might be a little distant, emotionally constipated, as my mother says, but he's always been there for me. So has my mom. I know I'm lucky to have parents like mine, and I know they'll love me no matter what, but I don't want to let them down. I want to forge my own path in life, but I'm not sure if I can. I'm not a very smart person, I guess. Then how about this? What? Kyouko's looking oddly fired up. She leans across the table, palms pressured against the surface, and smiles at me brightly. I'm afraid my compare is too subpar to count as a proper thank you, but but this should be a simple way to show my gratitude. Why didn't you let me tutor you? Tutor? That's right. I never went to university myself, but I did reasonably well in school. Not to boast, but I was actually a model student. I received the highest grades in my year. She says she isn't boasting, but she totally is. I can tell she's proud of her achievements, but who am I to fault her, really? If I'd been any good in school, I'd probably want to boast about it too. It's been a long while since I looked at a textbook, but perhaps it could help you. That is, if you wouldn't mind. Well, if you really want to spend more time with me. I'd love to. Kyouko smiles shyly, her cheeks tinged pale pink, and kneels back down on the tatami floor. I would like to help you. You took care of my daughter, so offering my time in return seems only fair. You don't have to agree, but I am in your debt. I'd like to make things up to you in some manner, and this seems to be the best way. You can come over to my apartment if you like. Tama would be there, of course, but I don't think she'd mind spending more time with you. Huh? Are we gonna spend more time with Mitsuki, Mama? If Mitsuki isn't opposed to the idea. Yay, we're gonna spend more time with Mitsuki! Do you like him that much? I like his food. No. Alright, that's a win, I guess. You really are simple, Tama. Let's hear what Mitsuki has to say first. I don't want to put any pressure on him. Well, I blink, nonplussed. Why is Kyouko so gung-ho about spending more time with me? It can't be. Is it because she's lonely? Maybe this, like the Tempura, is nothing more than an excuse. Kyouko claims she wants to tutor me out of a sense of obligation, but perhaps her motives are more self-serving than they appear. Kyouko doesn't know anybody in this apartment complex. She doesn't have any friends at work. She doesn't have any family members living nearby. I guess we're in the same boat. That's why I say, after only a moment of hesitation, alright, let's spend more time together, the three of us. That sounds like fun. After all, I was lonely too. Okay, well, I think that is going to be the end of the quick look. You can check out The Language of Love right now. You can buy it on Steam, and you can also buy it on mangagamer.com. Also available there, uncensored, but you can just download the free patch on Steam if you want to buy it on Steam. No problem. So, yeah, check it out. Links in the description below, and have a good day, everybody. And remember, if you like this video, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more content. Have a good day.